Hello and welcome to the World Championship, round 5, game 3. The two 4-player games are done, and we have the best position we can imagine, pretty much, plus 9 points. Now we're gonna go to the three-player games, and the first one is between me, Miloslav, and Arne. Let's look at the leaders and wonders. All right, Steve Jobs, Einstein, spaceflight, and internet. Internet may be flaming as well. Marlene is here, and Chaplin, but no Bach and no Hollywood. Mandela, Churchill, Empire State Building, United Nations, Red Cross. H2, James Cook, and Suez Canal. Let's see if there's more synergy. There's Columbus, there's Colossus, Isabel. So pretty good setup for some Suez action. Then there is Robespierre and Nobel for science, and Newton as well. So all the science leaders, and Harvard College, and Universitas Carolina, and Michelangelo, and Machu Picchu. So you can definitely want to have some iron, and then you'll be fine. Gaudi is here as well, Maria Theresa, which also can give a bit of science, and Napoleon. Pretty good wonders. Suez Canal, Harvard College, Railroad, and then there's also Kremlin and Eiffel Tower. And H1, like I said, also, yeah, this Michelangelo looks amazing. Nostradamus and Saladin, so you can have a very easy transition from HA. Jan Ziska, also. Gutenberg. Yeah, Great Wall. Happy Face, Wonders with Forbidden City, St. Peter, and Machu Picchu, Carolina. And then right now in the row, there's some Boudica, Colossus. There's also a library, Hanging Gardens, Stonehenge Colosseum not in. Leaders, Boudica, not the best. Maybe Aristotle. Homer is okay. Ashoka maybe for player 3. But I had the choice between a lot of good stuff. Boudica and Colossus, Engineering Genius, Hanging Gardens. But I was mostly afraid that if I don't go for this Colossus, I don't really have a great wonder. Or Hanging Gardens is still okay. But yeah, Boudica in 3 players always a little bit more dangerous. Especially if then someone else takes the Colossus. Maybe it could be an awkward turn, but maybe not a huge deal. But yeah, generally I think this Colossus game is quite strong with Suez Canal, with Columbus, even the James Cook. So yeah, and then Miloslav, as expected. Oh, not as expected. As unexpected. Well, I guess he wants to secure himself a wonder. The library will be taken away, but maybe he can also just get Stonehenge, Colosseum, and these are, yeah, a lot of good wonders to go into in H1 to start with. It's also fine. So I expected the Boudica there. Then Arne happily will take Boudica Library. Good start for him. Now here was an interesting choice because there's like Caesar here against the Boudica, which could maybe be annoying. There's Aristotle, which could be decent, but I'm just really not a fan of Aristotle. And I was thinking if it's like better or worse in 3 players, but it's kind of similar. Like in 4 players, like compared to 4 players, you have like more alchemies, more irons, so per person. But at the same time, now you have like some more code of law, some more monarchy per person. So it felt maybe kind of similar. And then I feel like the leader is not something you necessarily want to transition quickly out of, because he's a bit slow to start. Like in the first turn you take him, he usually doesn't score you anything, and then the turn you make the wonder, he doesn't score you anything. So his production, and then once you get your stuff going, then you can take maybe once a turn. But the first few turns, I don't feel like it's a lot of value, and there's like a lot of leaders that you can take away, that you can take right away. Like I said, Saladin, Ziska, Nostradamus mainly, and then depending on what you have, you can take the other ones as well. Um, though I guess I have Colossus, and I could try to just take a Columbus and then go with Aristotle, but at the same time, if there's Suez and Columbus, then it's like, okay, you get your cool territory, and then you can do Columbus, but if you get a cool territory, you can also just do it for the Suez already. So it's like a bit weird to go for both in a way, just because of Colossus. So, but yeah, if I take the Homer, then Miloslav will not go for the Caesar ever to mess with Arne, because then it's on the 6th spot. But in the end, I really didn't want to play with these, mainly because there's some good transitional leaders. And then Miloslav goes for the Aristotle. Actually takes Urban Grove and builds a step of the Hanging Gardens. I mean, yeah, you can just make the rock here and get a population and just wait with the stuff, because this doesn't do anything for you really. This is one rock which you can already get, and then this doesn't really do anything for you. So Arne, just a normal turn. I elect Homer, build lab. I think the irrigation there is a Machu Picchu, and the other ones were not so great. And with Homer, I already have a happy face, so don't really want bread and circuses necessarily. There are also like St. Peter and Forbidden City and Great Wall as well. I get developed territory already and a defense card already, so maybe you can see some territories. Now get historic territory as well. And he skips the mine again. Does not like mines. Maybe he can now. Well, he needs a lot of help to get iron into the build directly in iron, but yeah, this is quite surprising to build this hanging gardens right away when it doesn't really do anything. Iron goes for the development of trade routes, or I mean that gets revealed. Gets to masonry. Again, it's a great Michelangelo game, so actually already gets it going. Does not opt for the Nostradamus for 1 CA. So maybe he wants a better option. Maybe he doesn't have any strength events, or maybe he already drew something great for Columbus. This is what I was already thinking. I see the development territory, developmental settlement comes out, and I decided to just go with a bit of a greedy mine here. Now, yeah, mainly because I have Homer Happy Face already, I have Nostradamus, and I have Colossus, so I can just get away with it. And then Breakthrough, Frugality, very decent stuff for 1. And I decided not to go for this because there's still like Religion and Warrior for free, so. And there is the Religions, and I have 2 Happy Faces. Monarchy gets taken, let's see. Isabel, which I found a bit annoying because there's like 2 territories in my hand. I also have the Colossus, so I kind of just wanted to win some territories. And how much did Aristotle give? 1. And what turn is it? 4. I mean, he took it on turn 2. So it's 1 science in 3 turns. Classic Aristotle moment. And yeah, finally makes 1 mine, but still like no philosophy. This economy is not very efficient at the moment. Arne builds 2 stages. Goes for the knights. And also the irrigation. And now does he go for the Ziska? He does not go for the Ziska. Even though he already took knights. So that really told me that he must have some vast territory probably. Now it's my turn, and yeah, now I'm like, I want to see this historic territory, but I don't know if I want to anymore. So I see the good harvest. I do have the irrigation. Development of planning and agriculture, markets, or crafts. Which, oh yeah, I think this is like the markets you can choose between the 2, right? So I decided to take that one and then choose 2 rocks anyway, which like doesn't make any sense. But and yeah, I decided to go for this Maku Piku. Now there's an iron here, and that is the first iron. I figured basically because I already have four iron, I just go for irrigation, and then I can also finish this pretty quickly. And then I can even, once I have coal, I can just have like triple coal and leave the 1 mine out, or have double coal. But this 1 mine will also put in work for a very long time. So then I get 3 resources per turn. That seems already pretty good. And of course, I can still just get the iron as well. But this first iron is probably gonna get taken by Arne, because I take only 1 card. It will go to the 3 civil actions, which seems very expensive. Because then he's just gonna get corruption or something, pretty much. Even with Isabel, especially after development of planning also giving resources. So I mean, that means that Arne will take the first iron most likely, and then that also means that the second iron is pretty likely to go to me. So now here's also the Michelangelo, but it's a bit late, and well, I mean, we can see if Arne it was waiting for the Michelangelo instead, which I mean, it's a very strong Michelangelo game if he lines up, but now it would be very costly to take both iron Michelangelo. And Miloslav just increases strength, so now he's like hanging guard strength. And Arne now gets the 2 rocks. Builds the library, gets the iron, so he would also be set up for the Maku. There's the scientific breakthrough, and I do decide to put in the historic territory because, yeah, I mean, I am still ahead by 1. If she wants to go for more than 1, it does cost at least like 3 rocks, and historic territory is not the most important thing, especially now that I already have 2 happy faces, so I don't really mind her winning it. And she also has hanging gardens, 3 happy faces, so I can just see that. And get some swordsmen and make a guy with some free rocks, or 1 rock. Now I can't see it next turn, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, this is what it is, I guess. Some alchemy. That's strongest, and I'm also not like I'm one of the two weakest now. Actually, interesting. No, actually, no, I'm not because yeah, player order, of course. And makes the knight, but actually doesn't have a tactic or doesn't show a tactic. And here the Columbus comes. I have a monarchy that I decided to go into. It's a bit late. Normally I wouldn't really do it, but I figured that um, I'm gonna spend some stuff on irrigation and maybe on iron, and then I just don't have a lot of science. I mean, of course, 8 and or 11 science not that big of a difference, but I mean, when you have +2, it is first of all. But yeah, with Nostradamus, I just thought getting this first or this monarchy down quickly, at least I can draw a ton, which gives me a lot of points, and just see yeah, be able to seed some stuff. Um, would be nice. And also with the Colossus, I can maybe keep some extra cards. Um, yeah, basically that. So I think it's fine. Now I can build the whole Machu. So pretty efficient turn. Now the iron is still not out. And it's still not out. So I can pick it up if I want to next turn. That's what I have to decide. Um, yeah, it gets now the double alchemy, which, you know, as long as you have some alchemy going, you have some extra rock from the leader, you can get into maybe uh, a government you can always play, but I don't think there's a what. Yeah, I would have remembered that. So yeah, Columbus now, very surprising. Does actually go for this farm, interestingly enough. I mean, I guess he didn't have anything to do with the last civil action, but I mean, he knows that I will go for the irrigation, so he will get a selective breeding at some point. And yeah, of course, now he has 4 science instead of like 7 science, which then could go into like some scientific method or something, but yeah. Here is the knowledge of the ancients, so I guess that solves that problem. Maybe you also knew that. And I do decide to go for the code of law, so now I actually do spend basically the similar amount to like, or like even more than like a common. It's like 8 plus 6, but I also get similar amount back, 6 plus 3 instead of 6 plus 4. um so, and of course I get it a lot earlier, so seems pretty fine to me. And I also saw that on the row, right, that the code of laws was likely to go to me, but it was gonna be a bit awkward with the science. But yeah, I got +3 science now. And yeah, now I go to 4. I feel like I had a feeling that I could even get more science somehow, but I don't know why. Because I thought that I could have some nice timing on this, but I guess the iron is also not so important. So very early call. He actually did go into the monarchy right away, which, I mean, there's a common right here already, and well, would have to think if Arne would take that, but I mean, then there's 3 more in the game, and you can just take the first one that you see after that. Maybe even this common, and that should be pretty cool. Maybe worth the wait. But at least he does now have an exact science for the call, which is cool. But yeah, maybe could have waited a little bit as well. So Arne uses the Columbus. And it's always a bit sad to see. That's very strong. Goes for the Forbidden City actually, because he does have iron. Even though it's already H2, Forbidden City is pretty cool. Also for the Happy Faces still works. Good harvest. And I seeded Call to Arms? No. Or yes. No. Call to Arms last turn. Now I seeded International Negotiation, I think. Yeah. Now there is an early Nobel, so I was actually very happy because obviously 2 signs not very good. But yeah, this is also what I mentioned at the start, right? That you can take iron in this game because there are Carolina, Harvard College, Nobel, Newton, Robespierre to all help you. And so there's the early Nobel. And then I go for a little bit of irrigation. And then I will have enough for the iron as well because of the Nobel. So that was pretty cool. So I thought I was doing quite well. Like Machu Picchu, Nobel is pretty dream. Also already have Monarchy +1, so I have like good CA, good MA, good rocks, good food, good science. Everything good. Just have that, yeah, make some upgrades. Now I also have good rock production. Also have some science. Not the worst. Needs some food or a wonder. Fill up territory, and Arne actually bids 5. And he sends away 3 units for this measly developed territory. Now, if you have vast territory, you can get away with a lot of nonsense with the territories because now, once they go back into the bank, he just can make new ones for 2, and he gets like 2 food per turn, or like base already 2 food per turn. So you can rebuild very quickly, and then you expect him to maybe not really want the units, and then he might want to go into some other units. I don't really remember, but he also wanted it to get his Konmon a turn earlier, right? Which is also a lot of value, of course. So yeah, that's already a lot of value. 2 CA, 2 MA is already worth maybe like 3, 4, well, probably like at least 4 rocks actually, everything together. And then the vast territory making these very cheap. Can already, yeah, so he does rebuild kind of the same. But yeah, because the con one, it was probably worth it. Now, funnily enough, I did say, right, the irrigation costing 3. Now, I'm not saying it was wrong, but I did this 3 was the difference between the con one or not. But now he got the developed territory, I guess. But he had to pay like basically three units for that now. And here I do iron, and I'm gonna have a lot of resources. Maybe the Kremlin would be nice, but there's also some nice technologies here that are pretty important in my opinion. So I just decided to do that instead. And at the very least, I can maybe just build up some military with a lot of food and rocks. And I need a happy face solution to be fair. But yeah, if you take Kremlin, you need also more happy face. But yeah, this is a happy face, but there was something about this that I didn't like. Did I see something in here? No. Call to arms, yes. Yes, there was a call to arms, and I didn't want to lose 2 CA to that, just for this one happy face. When I also, even if I get one more happy face, I'm gonna need happy face solution anyway, so though there might be an Eiffel Tower moment here as well, but yeah, I didn't really want to lose the call to arms and maybe some other stuff as well. So there's a selective breeding, 10 rocks. Arne builds the Forbidden City. Oh, yeah, of course, also with the masonry is pretty efficient. Takes James Cook. And yeah, of course, already has 2 now. Probably also have something for the Suez Canal, although at least he cannot win that one anymore. Maybe already seeded some, or maybe just now seeded one here. Or did he just seed? Oh, he didn't seed. Okay. But yeah, yeah, probably a pretty solid leader here. Also, he expects us to seed probably, right? With both having some kind of bonus for colonization, so that's probably another good reason. But yeah, the selective breeding here. It's not gonna fall off after I take the Eiffel Tower. So I guess you will have to make do with the irrigation. I think he would have. I guess with the yellow bank, he's gonna be fine with irrigation for a while, even as frugality. So yeah, he's gonna be fine. Also doesn't need any happy face solutions. So I guess that's fine. But yeah, I will take this Eiffel Tower, border conflict. So there were some strength events there. And yeah, here was a bit of an things are getting a bit weird because I really want this architecture to go into this and then maybe even like one of these 3. But I also have riflemen, cavalrymen that I kind of want to go into. And even like something like scientific method. So this architecture is like a bit greedy, but it's like so efficient. And I don't have infinite amount of CA either. So I take it in hand, and next turn I have to decide which one to do. Now here comes the selective breeding, opera. There are some marine and some chaplain, some flaming, so opera pretty good this game. Also has pretty decent yellow bank for some reason. Now this one, this pact will be pretty significant, scientific cooperation, and yeah, because I am in such a lead, I can already spoiler you that I have not received any pacts in any of the 3-player games so far. I have received some wars though. I have seen, yeah. So I'm under the impression that people do not want to pact me because I am ahead by 9 points, but maybe it's just a coincidence. But yeah, here giving him the pact and then with the scientific method for free when he has no option himself to improve. It's maybe a bit dubious, huh? In my opinion. I can also take the justice system. And there is the call to arms. And I seed. Freedom of movement, of course. And I thought that would be nice, maybe. And yeah, I did decide to go for this architecture. Because I also wanted to take the cannons. I do have this tactic. Now here I do think I played a bit greedy because I actually take this efficient upgrade. Now, of course, there is a scientific method, so I can use it on that. And I was kind of thinking that I might want one of these wonders still. And then I thought, okay, I don't actually have infinite amount of rocks, even though I have quite a few rocks. Thought, okay, but I also don't have infinite amount of civil action, so I think I should just get maybe a worker out. But yeah, then again, I also thought maybe there's some immigration or civil unrest stuff. But yeah, this is maybe I need probably to be more mindful about my civil action, and like if there's some immigration, then sure, like I have still enough food to make more workers, and if there's civil unrest, I do have extra blue token here at least. So it's probably not the end of the world. And yeah, yeah, I need to be a little bit more civil action efficient in here. Now, apparently I did remove the defense card. I mean, I do want to keep this. I guess, yeah, I'm like relatively strong. I was thinking I could maybe want to use one of these. Usually I wouldn't kill that defense card, but yeah, I do have like triple tech here. And yeah, but I also don't really have that many MAs, so it's gonna be maybe a bit difficult to be honest. Maybe a bit optimistic, I would say. Draw international trade agreement, and here Napoleon, and yeah, he also has triple tech, but H1 tech. Now this was interesting because I saw this knight go up. Of course, you could say, okay, you have Napoleon with a knight, but then he copies with the phalanx as well, and well, of course, gets him a bit stronger. Uh, but I feel like you definitely don't do this unless you do have some strong tactics. So he does the knight first. It's also interesting, right? Instead of the cannon, even though the cannon can give in one more strength. Wait, does he even go? No, wait, what's happening here? And he gets. Wait, no, wait, no way. Wait, no way. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, okay, the cannon, of course, then he cannot copy the +3, but he gets +1, so so he goes to 11, and then sure, but I mean, there's no way you pay the 2 rocks here, because I don't know, I mean, unless there's like some classic army, right? Wait, what just happened? Wait, I'm very confused. Wait, I'm very confused. Wait, is this? Wait, how? Okay, next turn, right? Yeah. So, oh no, yeah, oh yeah, I remember now. Because he lost the 2 CA, right? Yeah. Because I was like, wait, why is he disbanding instead of just getting a dude out? But he has like no civil actions. So, but still, I mean, the cannon, right? The cannon, and then sure, you might be weakest depending on what Arne does. But you might be weakest anyway, depending on what Arne does. So probably just go for the cannon, knowing what he will do. But maybe he only has classic army. No, because he doesn't draw anything. But I don't know. I thought this was like a strange move, and for some reason I thought it was like Napoleonic army because, but I don't know why. Because this felt so strange. But like it should be classic army if anything, right? It should be classic army. I mean, I had this, so it should be classic army. Ah, yes, that's why, right? Because I thought if he has classic army, then why take the cannon, right? When he has this CA problem and this corruption, so then instead of taking the cannon, then he can just make the food and then make another knight, and he can even make 2 knights, right? Um, and then he can just reveal classic army instead of copying. He has like 2 MA to yeah, just make and then one thing, just make one dude and a dude, and then that's perfect, right? That's classic army. So yeah, and I have the other army also. I mean, yeah, the only thing that makes sense here is that you also need the cannon. And if you also need the cannon, then only Napoleonic army really makes sense. And yeah, I just I don't know, like I didn't even think about it, but it just felt so weird with the cannon, right? Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, I mean it's obvious. I was like, yeah, this cannon just feels weird. So yeah, it has to be a Napoleonic army. But then you should just make a cannon first. Then you draw 2 extra. Sure, you're have 2 less strength, but you're still not weakest here. And then, I mean, I think if Arno wants to, he can probably just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he seeded some strength event, but I think it was Arne that seeded it, if it looks like here. And Arne would not seed strength event, so yeah, I don't think that is best the best option there. Arne doesn't seed though, so maybe there is a strength event. And let's see if he does have the classic army. No, he just makes some guys, but he does go to 15. So yeah, either way, he's the weakest. I got an international trade agreement with Miloslav because I thought that yeah, Arnold was doing a bit better. And I have the Harvard College, which is very nice with my guy. Now, this turn was a bit hard because I also had like a scientific method, and I can like take the scientific method and then like upgrade it. I used to get like some corruption and stuff. Um, but I probably have corruption either way, but like not for corruption. Um, what was the thing about it? Yeah, some scientific method. Oh yeah, the thing is, I need this organized religion as a happy face solution. I'm also gonna lose population. I also want to make or not population. I'm gonna lose yellow tokens. I also need to make population. And then in order to get the organized religion, and I also want to get into one of these because I don't want to make infinite swordsman. Basically, I need 10 science. So if I go for the scientific method now, I go and I get +4, so I go to 8 science per turn, with 8 science, not 10 science. So this is very annoying. Then I would have to take like some rev idea as well, but then you're gonna be very inefficient. So I decided to just go for this Harvard College. Then I can go for basically organized religion and then one of these tactic or one of these dudes. And just finish the Harvard College to have enough science for a while, especially once. So as long as Nobel is here, I get a decent amount of science. And yeah, so I definitely liked this turn, what I did. But it was yeah, like scientific method was kind of like, oh yeah, I got to 8 science per turn right away. It feels pretty nice, but yeah, it seemed a bit awkward, especially when Miloslav can definitely go into this Napoleonic army right now. I did make one more swordsman because I think, yeah, look at this. um, I would have basically lost maybe the 3 or 2, but at least 2. Now, of course, it would be very funny if this was like economic progress, but I think, even though it says green, I knew what this was. I knew this was international negotiations because I made the joke that I was like, oh, I hope it's not economic progress, but I knew what it was on top. And I draw some cards, impact of culture. But yeah, here comes Napoleonic army. We cannot get 2 down yet, but it's pretty sizable strength. Arna, some navigation, maybe a colony coming, strategy 17, and hussars still 17. But he decides that this is better, maybe wants to keep some cards in hand. But it does show that we can now deny tanks, so it might be a bit risky in that way, because now if we just deny tanks, then he doesn't have classic army because he just drew H3 cards. No one has classic army somehow. I mean, I feel like, I mean, maybe Miloslav. I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, maybe he drew it at some point. Mm, yeah. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't have classic army, otherwise he would show that one, of course. And now he's drawing H3 cards, so He will not have it for the rest of the game. And now he shows this, which then means that if I am like Miloslav and I want to war, then I can like war Arne and take away like some tanks potentially or something like that, right? Like the tanks are a key factor now. And I decide to seed because if I don't seed, I actually can't get stronger because I want to finish the Harvard College now and just make a lot of pop. And then I can make one more. I guess I could make one more swordsman maybe. Oh yeah, I mean I could do that actually. Or no, no, I need to. Oh no, but that's free. I'm not really sure actually. Um, yes. I was gonna do that, but then I saw there was air forces, right? So I was just gonna finish this, make organized religion, bomb, maybe make a swordsman, which is a bit annoying, but yeah. Then I'm not weakest, and then I don't get owned by the developed territory. But now because there's an air force, I was like, okay, I kind of need to take the air force because air force is like kind of important. But but yeah, that means that I will lose this international negotiations, and I really don't want to lose it on his turn because then he's gonna steal like some science from me, and my science is very very valuable. So I decided to open it now, and it's also not so obvious that I don't win the impact of uh uh culture because yeah, I mean if you look at this, I'm just set up fine for it, and I upgrade here and I get this one, and I take the air forces. Yeah. But yeah, here now I was like, okay, if I didn't have this efficient upgrade, but then again, I mean, you see why I took it like this. Yeah, my rocks do go down basically all the way. So yeah, but uh, but yeah, I think if I had like a dude out, maybe I wouldn't have all these problems with my CA. But yeah, of course, Air Forces drop otherwise would have been fine as well. But yeah, I thought already at the moment at the point where after I took it, I was like, ah, maybe not, but it was also not that bad. Draw Impact of Wonders, which is pretty nice for me. Now here I get the war declared, and honestly I didn't see it coming, but also it's because it's the first turn. You only drew 2 cards, right? Now we could maybe also do a War of Territory or some stuff like this, but I don't know why I didn't really see it coming. I think it was like, oh, I'm gonna be strong. I have like 10 rocks. I have Harvard College. I mean, this military buildup is here, but yeah, generally you can. But I don't have that much CA. But yeah, I mean, I just have all these tax and tactics and or no, basically tax. I have a million food, million rocks, million science. I have Harvard College. I have Air Forces. Um, I also wanted to make some units. Actually, no, because I wanted to make the Harvard College, I think. But for some reason, I just keep getting it delayed, which is actually the problem in this game that it just kept getting delayed. But yeah, and I also don't really have a good tactic now, and I also have only 3 MA. But I can get maybe a patriotism to go to 4 MA. But I can basically just make like okay, if I have classic army, yeah, or defensive army, then can make a little bit. But he's gonna go to quite a high number, 39. So I mean, if I do like yeah, if I somehow have defensive army and then make double defensive army, then I go like plus 12, plus 6 is like plus 18, but I lose 2, so plus 16, I go to like 32. I mean, he will always win this. Now, I think if I wasn't so ahead in the score, maybe he would have hit Arne, like if Arne would be ahead in the score in the leaderboard, because I think Arne is also pretty valid target. Like there are tanks right here though. But yeah. I mean, he will always win. I mean, the tanks with the revolutionary idea, funnily enough, uh, is actually enough with the pact. Like this pact is just going in like crazy. But actually, no. Oh no, never mind. Yes. Yes, the pact. So 13, and then he can like make tanks, and then like if he just makes, if he doesn't have like, of course he could draw like the Giga tactic with the triple knights. Mm, shock troops. Then he would have the most by far, but he would not even be at 39. Like this would be like from 2 to 5 is plus 9, and then instead of 3 it would be 11, so plus 8, so 17, and then this is 20. So he would actually go to 37 if that's the case, if my math is correct. Then he would still lose, so it would not be a danger to lose. But if he just has normal move with the tanks, then he has like the tanks. I mean, he can make 13, which is probably just upgrade one and then make a tank. That would be 7 plus 4, so that's like 11. Yeah, that's basically all your rocks should be the most efficient move, which is then instead of 3, you have 10. So that's plus 7. And then you have another 5 from the H3 knight. So uh, plus 12, so you would go to 29. So yeah, you would win by 10. I guess, and then did I put in the strategy already? Wait, I don't think so, right? So this is basically the strategy is this knight, so I get plus 2 knights is 10, 15, yeah, 15, 32. Yeah, so 7. Actually, I think I am the better target if everything else is equal. Because of this tanks here right away is already on top. You can also take it. I mean, he can also get the second one, of course, or like, it can also just come from the top, uh, possibly. And I don't know. Like I don't really have that much. I mean, I don't know what he also has seen, of course, what kind of tactics. But yeah, I have some potential, of course. But I think Arna already can defend about as much as my good potential. So I think this is actually quite a reasonable target against me. Or yeah, basically that. Can't blame it on the standings. So maybe if Arne would be very high in the standings, then he would get targeted, of course. But strategic territory. Now this was an H1 event that he seeded very late, like last turn, right? He seeded this last turn, and of course the alarm bells can go off because there was, first of all, there was some rebellion stuff. I think there was some rats. Um, and before I made this organized religion. Um, Now, as you can see, I have 17 food. So as you can see, I didn't really play around the rats. Now he also has a lot of food, of course, which could be an indicator. But I actually went back and looked a little bit at what he had in hand and like for how long he had this card in hand. And I kind of saw that both Rebellion and Rats were actually quite good to seed in earlier turns. And he seeded like some H2 event over it, which I mean, maybe it was like a very strong H2 event, but that kind of made me already suspect it was not one of those. And then lastly, because I mean, he goes for the James Cook, and there's a Suez Canal in the game, or there was. I kind of figured that it was probably an H1 territory that he wanted to keep around for the Suez Canal. And so that's why I didn't play around any of those things. Although, I mean, I played around the Rebellion, I guess, but it was not because I wanted to play around it. It was just because it was useful for me. But yeah, I was not afraid of the rats. And it did also end up being a territory. So I did have a good read on that. So that was cool. Now there's some early call and then Wham and a great wonder with his scientific cooperation, which is like just completely popping off, like not even close to being equal. So that is an extremely strong. start of his H3. Now, I did see this freedom of movement, and I was also hoping that it would come out. But funnily enough, I will not actually make a swordsman here. I actually just moved my bronze to organized religion because Arne actually left me the military buildup. And if I make the swordsman, I go to +4 and I don't get the full rocks. So I do this instead. And then I do the military buildup. And I can make all this. So I think it was, I don't know exactly what he did on his turn. He actually plays this and, oh, but I guess he needed this maybe. Probably did, yeah. Place revolutionary idea, take oil, develop strategy. Upgrade a mine. Now, this strategy, I don't think does that much against, well, maybe it makes a difference for the aggression. But yeah. I mean, of course, he's still trying to win, so, but yeah, this military buildup, of course. I mean, he definitely wants me to lose if we're metagaming, but maybe in the game, actually, if we're just being objective, then he doesn't want to lose the big. He doesn't want me to lose the big war because maybe then Miloslav is getting too much or something. I'm not really sure. But of course, yeah, this military buildup definitely military builds me out. And I only lose 10, but yeah, this situation is very bad. Like, man, I actually, whenever I go, I mean, not whenever I go to this early monarchy, but, or late monarchy, I mean, it always just doesn't work out for me. And then, like, you're stuck with this 6, which is annoying. And then, but also the 3 is also actually bad. Like, Kanban is so much better. Um, and yeah, now I have like 6 swordsmen. Kind of was like, I had 3 swordsmen, and I was already thinking I had like these triple techs. I really wanted to make it, but some other stuff just kept happening that I kept delaying and delaying and delaying, and now I have like 6 swordsmen and I have 3 MA, and I ran out of food. But so I kind of need to like redirect my swordsman into other stuff, but I don't. I only have 3 MA, so then I don't draw anything, and it also costs a lot of turns, and it's just inefficient. So this was a very weird, bad, annoying situation suddenly. Things were looking so nice with the Machu Picchu, Harvard, Nobel, triple attack, Air Force, but I'm actually in a very awkward spot. Yeah. And now strategic comes, and I just bid like 11, which is like my double defense, and what is it? Like 6, 7, and then 2 swordsmen, I guess. Or I can send away 3 swordsmen and then do 1 defense and then keep 1 defense to defend against some aggression was like another idea. And I think if I send away 3, oh no, yeah, yeah. But you know, it was a bit annoying because I was like, okay, but am I safe for aggressions? Can I rebuild because I don't really have the food? But I was thinking that I could maybe just use kill my philosophy and then yeah, I can get an H3 tactic and just fulfill like one H3 tactic at least, and then it should be pretty good. And then maybe it also doesn't matter that I can't draw for a bit because then I already have some stuff in my hand. But yeah, Miloslav actually just has a billion defense cards. Yeah. And now draws that. So now it's like, oh, next war? His rough idea can actually go into like double air forces if he draws air force and if he has a war, of course not guaranteed. Now this one, but yeah, I didn't want to build bit 11 on this because this one actually doesn't improve my strength back up, yeah, enough for me to actually be like safe. But I did bid like 9, and yeah, I did kind of expect Arne to win this. And yeah, this was something I did not like because Miloslav actually took the mechanized agriculture, which seems pretty useless, first of all. And then he didn't deny the tanks, which of course there's a second tanks in the game, but right now Arne is super vulnerable, and he just showed that he has the thing, right? The Hussar. No, I mean I guess yeah. He also have a lot of MA, so maybe he could also just um get a rocket or a tank, so that's maybe a lot of things that he can go into, like just get a double rocket and then go Napoleonic army is potentially even better than this Hussars. But if you don't give it this turn, and I think this mechanized aircraft is pretty useless, then yeah, then it's just very awkward for Arn and right now. And then you can just aggress him very likely. So yeah, I did not like to see this. But he actually only goes to 28, which is defendable if he has double defense, but doesn't go further, interestingly enough. Now, this was also a tricky spot because I was like, okay, should I just make some... I'm safe from an aggression, of course, first of all. The game is kind of ending. I kind of wanted this military theory, but then I don't really have enough for these guys. Also, my leader will be gone. But first of all, I thought, okay, that Winston Churchill probably should be the play. Maybe it was, I don't know. But I also had like efficient upgrade and urban growth. So these were like very cheap. But most of all, I was like, okay, I don't really. But why I shouldn't do this is like my population was just so bad that I wasn't sure like mm, if I can even make these computers or if I should like abandon the computers, make some Churchill. But of course, if I get Churchill, then Nobel is gone. So I get 3 science per turn to make these, but I also lose 2 science per turn, so I don't actually have that much science per turn back. Um, but yeah, if I go for the Churchill now, I just cannot go into military theory, basically, because again, this replacing this doesn't actually increase my science so much, and then this does still just cost 11, and then yeah, it would be too slow. But yeah, it was also a bit tricky. Like Miroslav, if he gets the Air Forces, who's he gonna war now? But I'm not really sure exactly what made me decide that this in the end would be better. I do think it might be better still. Because now at least I can play the military theory, but I can't play military theory plus something. But I didn't know that there was like 2 more rev ideas, so I thought maybe with the rev ideas I can do it. And I also thought maybe the Air Force don't come out, and then I don't, or like just me being able to threaten some stuff is like good enough, especially if I can go into the military theory. Um, then I can make some units without actually making them and 5 extra strength. But not really sure. It was very complicated, that one. I would have to think back exactly what the pros and cons are. But yeah, of course, I would have to like delete. I also don't have a lot of CA. Like I would take Churchill, elect is already 2 CA. If I want to take the military theory, it's already 4 CA, and like now I'm already in trouble because like making a rifleman making 1 pop, then I only make 1 unit. It's not that great. Oh, and I think I also go down in strength. Or yeah, basically I think it was basically if I go for Churchill, yeah, okay, go down in strength, but I can make like 2 units. Then I would have to basically remove this swordsman and make like double cavalryman, and then I would show this, but I can't do that because that was already 3 MA spent, so I can't do this. Then I just have 2 units, and I think because I lose then the swordsman -2 and -2 from the air forces is -4, and then this is -6, and then I gain back 6, so I guess it's the same. And I also have 12, so this is like very easily enough. But yeah, the thing is, basically, if I would do that, I would have 0 draws, which is not very cool. And I would just never really be able to go into military theory, which is not very cool. And of course, 50 size does give you a lot of impacts as well. And yeah, this is also what I thought. If there's like no air forces, then you probably will just aggress Arne. And then the question is also, yeah, maybe I can set, yeah, and I thought maybe I can set up next turn to, yeah, have a lot of rocks available to just be able to defend, and then I won't get warred. And also, if he doesn't get the Air Force, then he's also not really that scary. And yeah, you can also just decide to do something like this, which he does build 1 more cannon, interestingly enough. And this was very funny because the impact of culture comes, and yeah, Miloslav actually just went into this, and Arne actually had 7, but he used freedom of religion or movement to move his religion into a knight or something. And that meant that he lost 1 culture. And of course, if it's his turn, he wins the tiebreak. So this was basically like an armed aggression because he disbanded his religion. And that was also a very annoying thing about those colonies, because those colonies, of course, give him +1 culture per turn. And that's why I wanted to really win them, because even though we were equal on my turn and I would have won it on my turn if I could see it, but I couldn't see it because I only had these 3 cards, right? So luckily he decided to, and I thought maybe he goes for Churchill himself sometimes because he's scared. Then he would also lose his culture. Um, but yeah, he moved his religion, which was also an option. And then, yeah, and kind of worked out for me. Because I thought Arna was definitely the bigger threat here still, even though Miloslav just got a war off. Like, our positions, especially when you take into account this Wander's pretty sick, I thought were actually, yeah, I think Arna was definitely still the favorite. And now he does have this modern army even. I siege, a bit of harmony. It's like, I have like 4, I mean, they have like 4 and 2. We will probably all have like 5 in the end. I was expecting. Now here, what did I do? These turns were pretty difficult. I just wanted to make. Oh yeah, with the rev idea, I can just military theory rev idea into one of these, right? But I don't do that. I do that. Yeah, actually, I do that. Right. And now I am strongest, but it doesn't really matter because I have impact of strength. But I thought that with this, at least, I think something just happened with the game. I think the game just finished. Um, yeah, I can at least make like one modern army, and maybe with Marlene, I can even make one updated and one sad one with my Air Force. Then I am very strong, right? So like cavalryman, cannon, and then make double cannon and a cavalryman. Then with Marlene, but it is probably just not really gonna happen because I need like, actually, well, I need 2 to copy, let's say, and then 3 MA to make the dudes. And I guess I can disband one more swordsman, and then I need 2 more guys. So 1, 2, and 2 more guys, 4 already. And so yeah, it was not really gonna happen. And I also thought it wasn't really gonna happen with the Marlene because Nobel also, so Marlene would have to be on 1 CA for me to be able to do it. Or I need to draw a tactic myself. But of course, I can also have like a cannon tactic, make like, well, I mean, I can at least make, I mean, at least I can at least make like one modern army. And one modern army, like right now, I don't actually have any tactic, right? Like this is like the worst thing ever. So modern army is already plus like 26. So I don't, I should be safe in this turn. And now the scientific cooperation. After he got a billion cards in his hand, he actually doesn't have anything to do with like war or impact, which was interesting. He does get the air forces, but he doesn't have enough science now. Wait. Well, if he didn't cancel the pact, he would have enough science. So I guess he didn't draw a war, because otherwise, surely, right? Or not? Surely he can do some war, right? With like double air forces. Um, even triple air force, just for the most amount of stuff to do. That would be like plus 10, basically plus 15, and then plus 14, like plus 29, 69. Maybe 69 is not good enough. Yeah, actually, it's not good enough. Yeah. Because, like I said, if I only make modern army, I already go like plus 26, kind of, like even more than that. And Arna can also make a second one, which would be basically plus 5 and plus 6, so 11, 11, 24 at the very least. Yeah. It's a lot of rocks. Little military alliance, and then this Einstein, yeah. I was kind of hoping for Einstein, and then maybe get some plus 10 from like double Einstein, Nobel, and then do some strength stuff, and then seed in impact of strength, or use it on the United Nations. But yeah, he just takes it, goes for multimedia, goes for agriculture. Oh, yeah, not really sure. Maybe he could take the rockets, because now I can take the rocket in my hand, and then I can let this fall off, and then I still have something at the end of the age, or in the new age, to defend myself with. But maybe he wants to do something with the my culture. Well, there is maybe your answer. But well, now it's out at least. And yeah, here was also a bit weird. It's like there's a democracy. I mean, there's a Marlene, but it doesn't really do anything else at 3CA. There's a Mandela. There's also still Steve Jobs. But if I want to make like this wonder next turn, then I really don't have any more CA. So the only thing I could kind of do was like also have like a lot of rocks. So the only thing I kind of do is like take Nelson Mandela, then destroy this to be unhappy, then make Melt Mandela, just make it again. I guess it only saves 1 CA or what? and then get like democracy going. But I guess this one CA might matter because now I got my population out. I mean, first of all, that don't get corrupted, so that is already, this cost only 5, so then it only costs 3. Yeah, I'm not sure if it matters really. I mean, I have 19, but the thing was like this I just played like this morning, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it was because of the hot weather. Like it's like the hottest weather in centuries. Literally, like code red for the first time. I don't know, for the first time in a long time or ever, or I don't know, but yeah, code red hot today, and I don't know that was why, but I just couldn't apparently think because I made some insane move, which is basically this move. But the funny thing is, like, I did this move, and I played it pretty quickly as well, which I have been pretty slow in. As in, I just take like 5 minutes per turn, like not like, oh, I'm like, oh, this looks good, and then I'll think something else, and then like, ah, this is probably the right move, and then I'm like, okay, but I only spent like 1-2 minutes. Maybe let's just let the position work itself through my brain a little bit, and then sometimes you're like, oh wait, oh fuck, oh wait, I almost made a blunder, right? So that's why I usually do take like maybe like 5 minutes or something, or sometimes I take more. But yeah, like I try to slow it down a bit. But this turn I played very quickly. Um, I also thought kind of in this position that Arne would just win and that I would just be second because like I'm gonna get either no wonder if Arne decides to maybe take it from me, like finish his own wonder, then take another wonder, but it would be pretty bad for him. So it was not that likely, but it could. But even then, Miloslav can take the Empire State, but that is like not very good. Maybe he gets 8, maybe he gets 16. Probably could get 16, but if I don't get a wonder, then I can probably make him even not get 16, but only 8. Um, but yeah, so I was like, okay, doesn't really have a wonder. I get a wonder, but I think my impact should be better. Basically, I already put in like 3 impacts. He put in like uh 1, which might be even this selected breeding. Because I thought like, what impact does? Okay, the only impact that's like better for him is like the territory one. I feel like. I mean, strength I have in hand. I mean, yeah, basically wonder, all the tech related stuff, science. I mean, culture he can overtake, and he will overtake at some point. But yeah. Mm, but yeah, so basically this turn, but of course, and I was like, oh, but then too bad I can't get like a Nobel Prize with my cavalryman cannon next turn because then they will die at the end of the age. So I ended my turn, and then I was like, what did I just do? And then I checked, and I was like, oh, this rocket is gone. There's only some modern infantry still left. Uh, so I actually just have 0 defense against any war. So either Miloslav or Arne or both can just war me for free. So this was just a completely insane move. Now, what should I have done? I probably do. I mean, both of these. Just play them. I can't get democracy then. So then my CA would be bad. I probably can't even take democracy. I would just have to hope that they don't take both away because I think Miloslav could take it and then go into it next turn. Um, but yeah, the other thing is like maybe I can actually make some strength and then push in impact of strength. But yeah, I should definitely just make these, and then maybe, I mean, I don't know, like maybe don't take the Mondela because it was pretty expensive. But yeah, basically just set up some strength that I don't get the ward, and then maybe I can win the impact of strength. But I also the problem is with that line is I have 4 wonders, And if I don't have democracy, then I actually just don't really have enough CA to even make the United Nations, I think. Because this just gave me +3, no, +2 CA. Yeah. So I guess I would have had like 7? 7? Wait, how do I get 7? Oh, that's only because of Mandela. So I'll maybe take Mandela to try to finish the wonder, actually. So then I have 7. Then, but yeah, it already costs. Yeah, then I would have to have, yeah, 19 would be a good amount. Then I can take it for 7 if it's here. And then I cannot finish it. So I would have to hope that it would drop down to 2, which is definitely not super unlikely. So I probably would have to actually take this Mandela like I did, but then develop these cannon cavalrymen over taking endowment at the very least, and maybe something else like, yeah. Oh yeah, wait, if I didn't take the democracy, of course I have a million. Well, actually, the democracy was free or what? No, it just cost 4 to go into, and it only gave me 2. So yeah, yeah. If I don't take the democracy, I will have more than enough. You know, but yeah, with this, no, I did have some small hope because I thought maybe Milo doesn't realize, or he doesn't have a war because maybe no, he couldn't have warred before, but he drew like so many things that I thought surely he has a war, and now he has Air Force, so you can always just war me, and then he's at least second. But I thought maybe he forgot about it as well, and he ended up not warring me, so it was very surprising. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, Arne had way less draw, so maybe Arne does have a war. But he does, and that kind of means it's GG. Nice little setup. And yeah, here I can't really do that much. I actually yeah, figured that Arne will always win, so I just gave him the tourism now to get 2 more points. But like we're already fighting, and now there's like -30 or whatever comes. Like it's actually already close between us, but then another 30 comes on top. Now I made a little bit stronger, of course. It helps to defend, but now I can actually use this impact to at least get 7 points against Miloslav. But I don't have now time to do the endowment. But yeah, I mean, the democracy made like 6 points. Maybe finish this. I would have been able to finish it because it would have been here actually. So yeah, I guess it just and if the democracy would wait, I have 15. Yeah. If the democracy would have gotten to 1 CA somehow, then I could even take democracy, go into the democracy for basically free for another 3. But yeah. Yeah, so this is the best I can do, I guess, in this turn. But yeah, somehow like this is like, I mean, it was all because of this very early war that I had to go like double Air Force into the infantry to have the best defense because he top decked the war with like two card draws, like literally the one of the first 2 card draws that he has. He just has the war. So that was just very unfortunate because now I have to do this double Air Force nonsense instead of just going into a normal any good tactic, and then I can just have the Air Force either in hand or I actually make the Air Force later. But yeah, this Air Force actually don't do anything. They're like worth 7, which is of course fine, like 7 for 7, but they can just be more efficient than this without Air Forces by just having any decent tactic. So yeah, for some reason this I got stuck with 7 riflemen or like 7 infantry, even though I had all 3 tags in my hand. Now, looking back at it, every turn there was something happening that kind of forced me into that, but also I feel like that shouldn't happen. But the funny thing is also if I actually took those cannons that were still there and then somehow take the cannon. I mean, it's also a bit weird. Like if I take the cannon, I would just make the cannon instead. But I guess I didn't have the science, right? Oh yeah, yeah. So I could do like this turn and then just take the cannon over something else, the endowment, right? Yeah, over the endowment. Take the cannon over the endowment, and then at least I would threaten this tactic, which I would then draw, and then it might be like I can at least go into one, maybe even two with the reserves. How many rocks did I have? I had to put in a little impact of population, but um, basically at the end, right? Yeah, I already actually have 19. Well, I guess the rockets do cost 7. So, I mean, I could maybe make 3 rockets with the rev idea. Not the rev idea, reserves. And that would be already plus 15, then plus 12 times 2 is 24. So 24 plus 15 is 39. But then I lose um, 8. So plus 31 actually. That would go to 71. Like if I make triple tank here's plus 15, and then this thing is 12 times 2 with the Air Force is 24. 24 plus 15, 39. But yeah, but I lose basically 4 times 2 tactic, so got a plus 31. So you would actually win it, but only by 1. Uh, yeah. So that could have been actually maybe still the play, like that. And I could actually just play this and then take the cannon thing, because I feel like maybe I do need all of this to set up for the wonder, and then but then I can also bluff a defense. But then actually it wasn't a bluff because I actually draw it. Of course, if he drew it or something, then he just can war me. So it's a bit of a scary bluff as well. But yeah, I think I've probably played it safe and just hope that the United Nations comes on this 2CA section, and then I think I would get second, and I think that would be a better chance than going for this bluff with a chance to get ward to call my bluff because he cannot lose the war. And he would also restrict my wonder either way, so he would also maybe just force me to get third anyway, because I wouldn't have a wonder. Like instead of defending, I just made a wonder now. If I instead of because the wonder gave me like 27 versus Miloslav. If an Arne just if Arne just attacks me, hmm, even if it's not winning that much, I don't know how much I could have done if I just made like the cannon and the. I mean, probably I could do it to a point that he couldn't war me at all, but then I wouldn't have democracy, and then I would go for the United Nations basically, and then he would not war me, and then I would make the United Nations, and then I probably just get second. That would have been the best. I don't think I needed to take this line and then bluff with the cannons. Um, but yeah, of course, this line is the worst of all. Not even taking the cannons. Just being 100% open and vulnerable. And now the impact of colonies also come. Democracy, and you can get 2 ways. And the sad part about this is his harmony is now suddenly also 24 when mine, because I have to defend, it's only 16, so it's actually plus 8 as well. So I mean, this is no chance. This, and this was just 1 minute ago. Actually, when I was making this video, started this video, the game was not over yet. But yeah, here's a nice Impact of Wonders. And yeah, I'm like 30 behind, but he's gonna get another +8 from the Impact of Harmony as well. Oh, the Impact of Technology, yeah, that's always a fine, nice one. I do get +8 on that. Wait, why is it like kind of close, man? It almost feels worse because of it. But yeah, here he gets like, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, +8. And now my last impact, does it give me 25 points? It's Impact of Pop, which is equal pretty much. Yeah. No, if I didn't get if I didn't set up, or if I didn't get ward, that was like 33 points or whatever, I would have not gotten as many points because I did get like democracy going. Then it would have been, but I would have gotten like harmony, and I would have gotten better impacts. So yeah, then I would have gotten second. So yeah, I just threw away 2 points, and now it's a lot closer already after this game. But yeah, we can actually then look and update. And yeah, now I'm only 4 points. Only 4 points. Wait, for some reason I thought that would be 5. Wait, or what? Yeah, four was like 4, 4, 3 or what? No, you only had 3. Oh yeah. I was up 9 and now yeah up 4. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm up 4. Okay. Yeah. And Arne is doing very, very, very well in another game already. I guess in our other game, which I mean, he will probably win that one. It's far from over, as in we're like in H2, but maybe I shouldn't say it. But like he's doing very, very well. If I can get second on that one, then I lose another 3 points. Then I'll be 1 point ahead. And then if I win my last one, then I'll be at least always 1 point ahead. And that would be good. Now, if I get another last and he wins, then he's already 1 point ahead. Then the two really makes a lot of difference. But basically, because in the two-player section, there you can only get 4 points. So if I'm like 3 points ahead or 1 point ahead, it actually doesn't matter at all, unless there's like some sick tie, right? If you like tie and you can both get like half the points. But generally, yeah, we will see if the 2 points matter, I guess. But I'm pretty sure that at the end of the three-player section, everyone will, like everyone as in Arne and me probably, will have the games in, or like the tournament, the round in our own hands. If you then win against each other and win both other games, I think I'm expecting that then that person would win. So definitely the two players between us will be very, very important, I'm expecting. But first you have to play the other games still. Also, you can maybe get last against the other two, or in the other three-player game as well. And yeah, as I said, the other games are also far from over. Also, maybe I can just lose in the other three-player game. So yeah, I'm hoping that at least these 2 points will not make a difference into the next section. That would make me feel a bit better. But yeah, I guess from now on, back to. I mean, I've been doing decent, but there's been like 3 spots where I've rushed my move And two of those three moves were like very, very bad moves. Like extremely bad moves. One of them I was not punished for. That was luckily, otherwise, yeah, it was like almost over already. This one I was punished for, but yeah. Oh yeah, oh no, actually the third one actually already happened. The war with against Arne also. So like already three big blunders. Only one of them I got punished for so far. So yeah, let's maybe try to play clean from now on. Yeah, I will tell you if it worked, if I managed. But yeah, I'll take my time. I'll not rush anymore. Okay. Thank you for watching, and we keep fighting. I just lost to make it more interesting, right, guys? I mean, wasn't it gonna be boring if I won this one as well, and people are like, am I really, do I really need to tune in anymore? Now it's exciting again, and it will probably get even more exciting soon. All right, bye bye.